Well, after months of planning, a May-long boycott of Loblaw and its affiliated stores begins today. Here's the food professor, Sylvain Charlebois from Dalhousie University, who joins us now for more on this. Sylvain, good morning to you. And the Reddit group behind this boycott now has nearly, last count, some 60,000 members. Do we have any idea just how big and how sustained this planned protest will be?
We don't know yet. I mean, the group was set up, I think it was back in October. And since then, that group has made a lot of noise. We've actually heard of Loblaw boycotts in the past, at least 4 or 5 times. But this one in particular is, in my view, quite well organized and very aggressive. It's been successful getting the media's attention. And so here we are, May 1st, and now Loblaw also published its quarterly results this morning, and financially, Loblaw is still not hurting. Revenues are up, profits are up. So I guess so far, this group in particular hasn't had an impact on the company itself. But we are now May 1st, so the boycott is officially starting today.
Mm-hmm. And those new numbers are just going to fire up this group. And the group is called Loblaws is Out of Control. And it's asking Loblaws to sign the code of conduct and identify items which have undergone shrinkflation. What do you make of their demands?
I mean, right now, if you actually monitor food prices for the month of April, prices are actually dropping. For many SKUs, many categories, prices are dropping. So if you ask me in the month of May, will prices drop? Very likely, but not because of the boycott. It's because of the market. You see, right now, what's going on is that consumers are trading down. They're spending less at the grocery store because they have to spend more on other things like a mortgage, debt, and things like that. So consumers are retreating and grocers are noticing, so they have to offer us better deals. So prices are actually dropping. So it is going to help consumers. But again, I don't think it has anything to do with the boycott at all.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, it'll be interesting to see, because no doubt there's going to be news cameras at Loblaw stores right across the country, and local news will be covering this tonight. So we'll just see, how big this boycott truly is. But for their part, what is Loblaw? What are they saying about this protest, Sylvain?
They're reacting for once. I mean, let's face it, you have to sympathize with the people leading the boycott, because Loblaw's PR strategy hasn't been great. I mean, the last several months, they have failed to read the room constantly. So I do understand why there's a lot of anger out there, frustration towards one banner. But that one banner, Loblaws, occupies 29% of the market. That's not even 1/3. And Loblaw's a massive size is due to the fact that the company reacted to the American invasion many years ago, led by Walmart and Costco. Let's face it, Metro did react also. Sobeys acquired many companies as well. And so I do wonder, what is the logic behind the actual boycott aiming at just one banner right now? If they were to call me and ask me for my advice, I would basically tell them to boycott all big box stores and encourage Canadians to go and visit independent grocers. They're the ones that have actually suffered the most throughout this consolidation era we actually have gone through in the last 30 years.
I know you said you're starting to notice grocery prices come down a bit. How do they compare to prices elsewhere? So
elsewhere in terms of other countries, or just across the country? Well, elsewhere. Essentially right now, if you look at some of the data outside of our country, Canada is still second within the G7 with the lowest food inflation rate at 1.9%. So, and it's likely to drop below 1.5%. So prices are still higher when you look at all food categories, but there are some food categories where prices are actually lower. Many produce are cheaper than last year. Some meat products, and yes, chicken is cheaper than last year. Center of the store, lots of dry goods, pasta, sauces, spices, even seafood. Actually, some cuts are actually cheaper than last year. So things are much easier to manage for people on a tight budget right now.
Sylvain, sorry, what about nationally? Where are the highest prices we see nationally?
Anything east of Ontario. Oh, yeah. So Ontario, you guys have actually been doing okay with food inflation. But with Quebec and the Atlantic, where I live, it's been just awful. Right now, you're seeing households being forced to spend more of their disposable income on food. But in Ontario, it's actually been pretty idle in the last year. So the average Ontarian actually is spending about 8.5% of its disposable income on food. Last year was 8.5. This year it's 8.5 also.
All right. Well, listen, undoubtedly, there still is a lot of anger, a lot of unrest when it comes to food prices and grocery prices right across the country. This protest is getting a lot of attention, and we will see in the coming days and weeks whether or not it truly does have an effect. Sylvain, appreciate your time with us this morning. Thanks so much for this.
Take care.